Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing a movie that's celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, and a movie, and the movie has been parodied and lampooned and spoofed throughout, the 90s and even in the 2000s, and that's the 1993 film Indecent Proposal, starring Robert Redford, Woody Harrelson, and Demi Moore, who was a major hottie in that time, and still is, by the way. And like, this girl never aged. Demi Moore's character, actually, she was just fresh off of A Few Good Men, which came out a year before. So of course she was still a major league hottie at that time. And of course, Woody Harrelson first coming off of the end of Cheers. And I think White Man Can't Jump came out around the same time as well. So he's a fresh, hot movie actor at the time, because we all know Robert Redford's reputation for about 25 years being in movies. So this had a great cast. Also was directed by Adrian Lin, who, of course, if you watch him in previous videos, he had a string of movies of this type of thing, from 9.5 Weeks to Fatal Attraction to Unfaithful. It's 3 trilogies of city, lifestyles that people have done. And of course, this one is no different. This one's right in the middle between Fatal Attraction and Unfaithful. This movie, so it's another one of those movies where people get tempted and that type of thing. Of course, this movie, like I said earlier, this movie was spoofed to death throughout the 90s, and this type of premise. Of course, this movie, I don't know why I'm explaining the plot. I mean, who hasn't known the plot of this movie? The plot of Indecent Proposal is that Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore played a married couple, high school sweethearts. They've been married for a few years, and Woody Harrelson was supposed to be an architect. He's out of a job because there was a recession by then, by about 92, 93 when this movie came out. It was a pretty bad recession, and so the real estate market dried up. And Demi Moore's character, she was working, but she was struggling to hold her job. So they decided, and Woody Harrelson wanted to build the dream house, and they already got started. They already got the land, and they started to build the foundation of the dream house. But since the market dried up, they don't have enough money to have the house, or to finish building the house, and so they're about to be foreclosed on by the bank. So Woody Harrelson decides to get this idea of going to Las Vegas, maybe gamble a little bit, maybe earn some, win some money in Vegas, and then use that money to pay off the bills and to finish the house. That was the idea. And at first, they were winning in Vegas. They went up to about at least $25,000 just over that. And so, on one day, and then of course the next day, they practically lose all the money that they won the day before. While this was going on, they meet, Demi Moore actually meets Robert Redford's character, whose character's name was John Cage. It was like this billionaire, kind of almost like a Donald Trump type character. Who was like this rich, good-looking billionaire. Of course, Donald Trump's not good-looking, but his kids are, but not him. He played like this rich billionaire. You're not too sure what he does, but all you know is he was a billionaire. And he sees Demi Moore checking out this beautiful dress in the store, and she can't. And she tells him, complete stranger, that she can't afford it. And of course, and so Robert Redford becomes fascinated with Demi Moore's character. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, she was gorgeous then. She's still gorgeous today. And he was obsessed with Demi Moore's character. So what happens is, he decides to have Demi Moore be his good luck charm. Like the song from the show Guys and Dolls, you have luck be a lady tonight. I mean, that type of thing. And of course, he wins. Robert as a good luck charm, wins him like $1 million at the craft tables. So Robert Redford decides to offer them $1 million. Demi Moore and Woody Harrelson $1 million on the premise that she spends one night with him. And of course, at that time, Woody Harrelson, of course, was ticked off. The offer to have sex with his wife for one night, and of course he says no. Oh no. And then of course the more they think about it, the more they said, hey, we're stupid for saying no because we need the money. So if we didn't need the money, we're going to say no. But Demi Moore says, look, I want to do this for you so we can pay for the house and knock off all our bills with. He says, and Willie Harrison reluctantly agrees to do it. And let her do it because since it's full fancy contract, and Oliver Platt, who's now on the Chicago Med show, and that time was a character actor in a bunch of movies at that time. He plays Woody Harrelson's lawyer. They signed him this whole contract, and then they let Demi Moore spend the night with Robert Redford. Of course, you never really actually see them having sex. You see them kissing, but that's about. You didn't see them rip each other's clothes off. Unlike when Woody Harrelson, there was one particular fancy scene, or sexy scene, where Woody Harrelson's having sex with Demi Moore, and she's on the bed. There's when after the first day of gambling in Las Vegas, where she had all the money on the bed, and they were having sex with the money all over the bed, all over each other. I mean, it was pretty steamy. And you do see for a few seconds one of Demi Moore's boobs in this movie. And of course, it's not the first time she showed off her boobs in the movie. One of her first roles, about last night, she did a full-on sex scene with Rob Lowe in that film. So it's not unusual to see Demi Moore do a nude scene in a film, even though she hadn't done one for a while at that point in her career. Anyway, I digress. Of course, when the one night is over, Woody Harrelson did not trust Demi Moore anymore, because Woody Harrelson thought that the two of them had sex. Now, of course, she kept denying it. She said, look, we didn't have sex. We just went on a yacht. He took me over in a helicopter to his yacht, and we just rolled on his yacht for one night. We had dinner on his yacht, and that's about it. He was very respectful. He didn't, he didn't propose to have sex. He didn't have sex with me. All that type of thing. And of course, the more she was thinking about Robert Redford's character, the more she was falling in love with him, and not so much Woody Harrelson because because Woody Harrelson at that point did not trust Demi Moore anymore. Like I said earlier, because he was the more Woody Harrelson was thinking about it, the more said, hey, what the hell is going on between these two? Because Demi Moore's character was constantly have interaction with Robert Redford throughout most of this movie. Because every time she went, Robert Redford came right, because she was working in a real estate firm, and Demi Moore's character was, and all of a sudden here comes Robert Redford, and Robert Redford's character, Kate, John Cage comes in, and wants her to, show him around different properties. He wants to possibly buy a house and all that type of thing. And he says, look, I don't want to work with you because of what happened. And he said, look, we didn't do anything. He said, I know, but my husband thinks that we had sex. And of course, look, we know. And then Robert Redford just tries to seduce Demi Moore's character, and of course, which eventually works. And then of course, Demi Moore decides to leave Woody Harrelson and get a divorce, which of course Woody Harrelson eventually signs off on. By the end of the film. But then Robert Redford realizes at the time when they sign the divorce papers in front of each other, Robert Redford realizes that the way the Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore were looking at each other for the film, he knows he of course realizes that Demi Moore was not going to love or look at him. Robert Redford's character realizes that Demi Moore was not going to look at him the way she looks at Woody Harrelson. And so he decides to make up this whole bullshit story about that he did this before with other women. Even though early in the film he said he never did this before. He made this whole particular story up so that Demi Moore would leave him. And his limo driver was played by Seymour Kessel, who was also a pretty good character actor in his own right. Said to Kay, he said, "John, why did you say that?" So we know it's not true. And he says, "Look, she's not going to look at me the way she looks at him." He said, "Oh, okay." So then he realizes that he'd said that to let Demi Moore go. And of course, in the end of the movie, big surprise, the two of them reunite, and that's how Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore, anyway, that they reunite at the end, and that's how the movie ends. But, spoiler, I know I spoiled the movie for those of you who've never seen this movie, but throughout the 90s, and throughout the 2000s, especially when you like shows like The Simpsons did a couple of spoofs, when Marge's old boyfriend spends all of his like $10 million for one night with Marge, or a weekend with Marge. And the other bits or shows or parodies of this movie. This movie was a big hit at the time, and it was one of those movies that's dying to be parodied, and it was throughout the 90s and 2000s. And nowadays, this movie would be such a cliche. 25 years later, it would be such a cliche. But at that time, it was really a shocking premise. Would you sell your wife for $1 million, or vice versa? Would you sell your husband for $1 million to pay off your bills and mortgages and stuff like that? And also that's that one particular part where Robert Redford bought the property that they want to build the house on, and then I think that particular subplot was never really resolved. But in the end of the film, it should have been, but it wasn't. And said, "Look, I want to buy this property for you guys to build up your house according to your designs and stuff like that." If Robert Redford said that would be believable. But it may be stretching a little bit, but at least it would be logical. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, they didn't resolve that particular plot point. But to the film, I really like the performance. Of course, Demi Moore, it was beautiful and sexy. Well, and one of the few real sexy roles that she had. I never saw it fully about last night. There was a really big sex scene in that. I really want to see that for that particular scene, but I haven't seen that movie. I've seen the remake, but not the original film with Demi Moore, Rob Lowe, and Jim Belushi. And not because of Jim Belushi, that's why I want to see that movie. I'm a Jim Belushi fan, but to see Demi Moore, looking that good in this movie, especially in that dress. I mean, god damn. I'm so jealous that Bruce Willis was married to Demi Moore at the time, and now the schmuck divorced her. But it's neither here or there. But as for the movie, I do recommend Indecent Proposal for those of you who've never seen it before. And it's like I said earlier, it's such a cliche movie by today's standards. So that's my review of Indecent Proposal. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You will catch all my videos on my YouTube channel at realityc.com, so WDY, and then C.com. There's a homepage for Reality Reviewer, Christy Moore, and please check out all of his movies on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.